All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something pretty special happening in Houston's 3rd Ward. It's the story of a 4-mile path, but believe me, it's so much more than that. This is about a whole community coming together to literally transform their neighborhood and, in a way, reclaim their own history. And this right here, this quote from the community leaders, it just says it all, doesn't it? From a railroad of extraction to a trail of reconciliation. That's the whole story in one sentence. It really frames everything we're about to talk about. See, they're not just planting trees or paving a path. They're trying to turn back the tide on more than 150 years of history. So to really get what reconciliation means here, you gotta know where this trail came from. And, well, its origins are pretty dark. This wasn't originally a happy place for a bike ride. No, this was a railroad, the Houston Tap and Brazoria Railway. And it was built back in 1856 by enslaved black men. Its entire purpose was to haul cotton and sugar from plantations down to the port of Houston. It was literally a tool of the plantation economy, built on forced labor to extract wealth. And if you think that's bad, the story actually gets worse after the Civil War. After emancipation, you'd think things would change, right? Nope. The same exact rail line was used for something called convict leasing. It was a brutal system that was basically slavery by another name. They'd arrest black men, often for nothing, and then lease them out as laborers, sending them right back to the very same plantations. So for decades, decades, this path was a symbol of pure injustice. Okay, so that's the heavy history. It's crucial to understand, but that's the past. Let's pivot now to the present day, because this is where the story of transformation really begins. We're going to talk about the community that's forging a completely new future along this exact same route. And who is leading the charge? Meet the Friends of Columbia TAP, or FOCT for short. These are the heroes of our story. It's a grassroots community-led group, and their mission is as clear as it is powerful: to take this corridor, this symbol of extraction, and flip the script completely. They want to turn it into a place of health, connection, and real opportunity for their own community. So how are they doing it? Well, they've got 3 main pillars guiding everything they do. First up is mobility. Pretty simple, right? Making sure the trail is safe and accessible for everybody. Then there's sustainability. This is all about environmental justice, making their neighborhood greener and more resilient, especially with Houston's crazy weather. And finally, there's connectivity. And this one's deep. It's not just about connecting point A to point B. It's about connecting neighbors to each other and connecting everyone back to the very real, very complicated history of this place. Okay, so for 2025, they had this theme that I just think is brilliant. It perfectly sums up their whole strategy: deepening roots, expanding horizons. Isn't that great? It's this idea of digging in deep to strengthen the local community while also reaching out to make a global impact. It's a 2-pronged attack, and it's working. And you can see this deepening roots, expanding horizons thing in everything they did. So deepening roots, that's the local stuff, right? Like planting over 1,000 native trees, or going down to City Hall and advocating for safer street crossings. Really practical, on-the-ground work. But then, expanding horizons, that's them playing on a bigger stage. We're talking getting designated as part of the official 2026 World Cup Green Corridor and attracting a massive $1.3 million investment from Airbnb. See? Local impact, global reach. It's a really smart, powerful strategy. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What did they actually do in 2025? A ton, actually. They created what they call a linear forest by planting all those trees, which is a huge deal for fighting urban heat. They didn't just accept city plans. They organized residents and pushed back, demanding real safety improvements, not just a few new signs. They even installed a solar-powered e-bike charging station. Talk about future-proofing. And maybe my favorite part, they started mapping what they call witness trees. These are trees that are so old they were actually there before the Civil War. They witnessed the railroad's construction. How powerful is that? Now look, this wasn't all a walk in the park. They hit some serious roadblocks. There was a new city curfew on scooters that really hurt residents who rely on them to get home from late-night jobs. They even had to deal with vandalism. But here's the key part. They never got discouraged. Every single time they faced a challenge, they responded with organized, data-driven action. That kind of resilience, that's what makes this story so incredible. And all that hard work, all that resilience, it paid off big time. 2025 was a year of just incredible transformation. And honestly, the results, well, the numbers just speak for themselves. So you're probably wondering, what did all this effort actually achieve? Let's break down the results, because they're pretty mind-blowing. Just take a look at this. This image basically sums up their entire incredible year. It's a snapshot of what a community can do when they put their minds to it. Let's dig into some of these numbers. Okay, first, let's talk money. We're talking over $9 million. That's right, 9 M's. That's the amount of total investment they helped bring in for the trail and the community. That's not just change, that's a massive, game-changing impact. But this story isn't just about big checks. It's about people power. Get this, more than 200 volunteers pitched in over 3,500 hours of their own time. That is the real engine behind all of this. It's just regular people showing up for their neighborhood, day in and day out. And what were they doing with all those hours? Well, for one, they planted over 1,000 native trees. Think about that. That's not just a beautification project. That's a direct investment in the future, creating a cooler, healthier, and more resilient neighborhood for their kids and their grandkids. And you know what? People started to notice. The world started to notice. In just 1 year, they racked up 6 different awards, both local and international, for design, for sustainability, for service. That's some serious validation that what's happening in this one neighborhood in Houston is truly world-class. So when you put it all together, it's just, wow. It's an absolutely stunning picture of what is possible. This is what happens when a community decides, you know what, we're taking the reins. We're going to honor our past, but we are going to build our own future. And the story doesn't end there, not even close. Because now, all this local work is about to step onto the global stage. The future for this little trail is suddenly way, way bigger than anyone ever imagined. Okay, get ready for this, because this is the big one. Houston is hosting the FIFA World Cup in 2026. And guess what? The Columbia Tap Trail has been officially designated as a key piece of the World Cup Green Corridor. We're talking about a 14-mile route connecting fans to the stadium. A path that was once a symbol of extraction is now going to be showcased to the entire world. How amazing is that? So you can see the whole arc, right? 2025 was all about laying the foundation, doing the hard work. Summer of 2026, the world comes to town and gets to see it. But the real win, the ultimate goal, is what comes after the World Cup leaves. It's about creating a lasting legacy of pride, connection, and green space for the people who actually live there. And this quote from Fox Vice President Kimberly Fipsnickel just nails it. She calls the trail a vital mobility lifeline for World Cup travel and beyond. That and beyond is the most important part. The World Cup is the spark, but the fire is for the community. So we kind of end up right back where we started, with that powerful idea of reconciliation. The story of the Columbia Tap Trail really makes you think, doesn't it? It proves that a simple path can be so much more than just a place to walk or ride a bike. It asks us a really big question. How can a physical place, a piece of land, do more than just connect 2 points? How can it actually start to heal a history? It shows us that with enough vision and enough community power, maybe, just maybe it can.